Hello, everybody. Oh my God, I have some delicious, gorgeous, interesting information that I will dispense right now. This is a video directed at Geo and my other six gorgeous fans. Oh my God. Yes, me and Relentless, we have, several hot under the collar fans that are just always hitting us up for goodies and questions. And so I shall answer you, my child, my young Geo child. You want to know about options? I will tell you. But first, I want to tell everybody Relentless is not missing. She's not dead. I didn't put her back in the trunk. All right, she's just traveling around. She's like, she's a very important hostage with the Mostas. She's just going around, she's doing her thing, she's living life, but she'll be back soon and we're going to be doing videos together in December. Oh, yeah, babies. Oh, yeah. All right, Geo, Tendy, and anybody else that wants to know about options? Oh my God, this is going to be a very informative video. A little funny, but more informative. So get ready. Just hit the snooze button if you start to pass out. Options can be boring, but I'm just going to give you the basics. I'm going to lay it down quickly as I can. Let's see, where shall I start? Okay, first of all, options are like stock, but they have a time limit. Okay, so when you buy an option, you're buying the right to own the stock at a specific time. Okay? So it works like this. Let's just say you're an AMC and you think AMC is going to go to $50 tomorrow after the earnings report. Okay? So, oh, and by the way, you can only buy options during regular market hours. You cannot buy them in the pre or the post. I hate that part. But anyway, let's say you say to yourself, okay, I'm really sure AMC is going to go to $50. Okay, I don't know what the prices are. I haven't looked at AMC options. They're probably expensive because AMC, it's a $40 stock, right? So they're going to be a little pricey. You're not going to be able to pick up options for a nickel. Okay, I make my killing in options by looking for companies that are really beaten down. They're like in the single digits. I look for companies, just a side note to Geo and the others. I look for companies that are really beaten down, single digits. There's not really a reason for that, but the hedge funds just decided to destroy them like they usually do. And the company has to have a low float for high volatility. It's got to be a decent company. They might be having, quarterly reports that aren't so hot. Maybe they got a couple in a row that were pretty bad, but the company's functioning, and it's not a bad company. There isn't weirdness going on. There isn't some scandal going on. You find those companies, you find them in the single digits. You look on the options chain, which is the whole list of options that exist for calls and puts. I'll get into it in a second. Those are the companies that are going to have options that are selling for like a nickel, especially with the price being far out. You want to find a company whose options are like a nickel or a dime and the price is like way out there, like 2023, 24. You pick those bad boys up for a couple of $100, and it's like owning stock because they don't expire for a year or two. And that's like Goodwill shopping. And if you hit it and you get lucky and that company reverses and they fix business, or the hedge funds decide to go the other way with them and they ease up, you're going to make tens of thousands of dollars on like a $2 or $3 or $500 investment. Of course, there's a very high chance you'll lose that money. It's just a straight gamble. It's a lottery ticket, But anyway, I'll get into that concept in another video. There's ways to figure out if a company is still good and it's not such a gambling bet, like Prague. But anyway, let's talk about options. Okay, so options give you the right to purchase stock at a certain price. So if you think AMC is going to go up to $50 tomorrow or Tuesday, maybe you get a good 2-day pump out of it. Well, you go in what's called the options chain on at your broker's website. You click on options. Now you're looking at the chain. You're looking at the whole thing. At the top of the screen, you want to hit all. don't just look at the options from like, we're talking about AMC now. So don't just look at the options from say $30 to 60. You want to hit all at the top of your page, so you're going to see all your choices. That's what I always do. I always hit all. I want to look at all my choices. That'll give you the whole list of all the options that are available to buy through your broker. Every broker's different. Okay? So let's say you want to buy AMC at 50, and I don't know, it's a dollar. Okay? So you want to spend $500 gambling on AMC for an option. It's called an option strike price. And let's just say you find an option strike price at $50 for a dollar. You're not going to find that in real life, but this is just an example. You find it for a dollar and you want to spend 500. So what are you going to do? You're going to buy 5. You're going to buy 5 at a dollar, and that will cost you $500. And you're telling the system, the option system, I think AMC is going to go to $50, and I'm going to be what's called in the money now. Because you have options, you bought calls at $50 that are in the money. Okay, that means AMC hit $51 on Monday. And you're like, oh my God, you're screaming all over. And after you're done masturbating furiously, you wake up from that, that sleep you always got to do. You look at your chart and you go, okay, I have a choice now because I could sell this. I'll have a lot of money. I mean, you'll probably have like $5,000, maybe $10,000. Options go up really high, especially at high volatility stocks with a high short float like AMC. AMC has a high short float. Plus, they have all those dirty, nasty synthetics, which I'm not going to get into. But anyway, so AMC hits $51 on Monday. You're going to cash that out. You can just sell those calls, okay? You don't have to keep those calls. You're not obligated to keep those calls. You're going to sell them. You're going to sell those 5 calls. You're going to make really good money because the price is 51 and you bought 50 calls. Now, the other thing that you can do is, and this is why they're called options, you have the option to exercise those 5 calls. You hit the exercise button, and then your broker is going to ask you for the cash. You got to have enough cash in your account, and you can own 500 shares of AMC, but you have to come up with the cash on the spot. You have to have enough liquidity to buy those 5 calls, and you turn them into 500 shares. That's the cool thing about options. They're very interesting, they're very powerful tool. But with great power comes great responsibility because you could lose your ass. Most of the time, calls expire and you lose the money. That's the truth. But some of the time you hit it and bam, baby, you hit it big. I'll give you an example. I bought a company called Tilray. Okay, Relentless knows all about the story because I relentlessly tell her about it. I bought 200 calls of Tilray way back in January or December of last year. And I bought them really cheap, like 20 cents. So I spent $4,000 or something like that, or maybe a little bit more, on 200 calls because I was buying on the way up. Tilray was a really cheap stock. It was like $7, but I knew it was going to blast off because I saw the pattern in the charts. Well, Tilray did blast off. A couple months later, it hit big. It went all the way to $60-something. Well, people, you know what I made on $4,000? I made over $1 million. Of course, I lost like 2/3 of that later, but that's another disgusting story I don't want to think about. But yes, $1 million on $4,000 investment. Options are crazy because I had 200 of them. That means I was rocking 20,000 shares of Tilray for only $4,000 with the option to turn them into 20,000 shares. Anyway, getting back to my to my AMC example. So you buy that call, $50. AMC goes to 51 tomorrow. You can sell those 5 calls. You could just sell them on the spot like stock, or you can exercise them and turn them into shares. Okay? So that's my one example. Now, With options, you can go two ways, okay? You can short a stock regularly with just stock. You can short. We all know about shorting because everybody in the AMC world is disgusted with Kenny and all those people constantly shorting. But you can also short with options. Now, if you want to short and you want to go the other way with an option, that's called buying a put. You buy a put if you want to short a company. But I recommend never doing that. That is the most dangerous thing you could do because if you're wrong, it will go the other way. And if a stock takes off and it goes big like my Tilray did, and you bought a put or you bought a bunch, they're going to be giving you a phone call when your account is zero and they're asking for all that cash that you owe. Don't ever buy puts. Ever. It's like dynamite. You will blow up your account so fast you won't even know what happened. Stay away from puts, all you newbies that want to tinker around with options. Only buy a little bit of calls, experiment, like buy one call, and you don't have to look for downtrodden companies to try to find those cheapy options. You can buy a company that just got hit. They got hit by Kenny and the gang or some other hedge fund, and they got chopped in half by 50%. You don't have to look for companies that are down 90, 95%. You just look for a company that's like 50% down or 40% down. You get a pretty good deal in options. Now, here's the thing with options. You want to buy them at least a couple of months out. So when you look at your options chain, let's say AMC, you think it's going to go to $50 tomorrow. Okay, well, in that case, you could buy options that are going to expire in 2 weeks. They're going to be really cheap. If you really feel that AMC is going to go through the roof tomorrow, you can buy cheapity cheap options that are going to expire this Friday or next Friday. I don't recommend buying them for this Friday because they're going to expire really soon and any money you put into it's going to be worthless. Even if it hits big, the reason why they're going to expire really quickly, probably tomorrow they're going to start to expire, is because the volatility is too great and everybody that bought them weeks and months ago, they're going to be selling. They're going to be selling on that pop. And then you're playing musical chairs at that point. You got to sell faster than them. So don't do that. If you really want to just gamble a little bit of money on AMC and you want to get 50s or you want to get 55 calls or 45s, 45s are going to be even cheaper because they're closer to the real price. So let's say you think AMC is going to go above 45 or 50 tomorrow. You can buy cheapity cheap calls that expire next Friday. And if you look at the options chain and you look at the volume on those, you're going to see they're very high. The volume number is all the way to the right on the call row. You look at the row, you look at the strike price that you want to buy, and you look all the way over to your right, you're going to see the volume. Okay? Now, I love looking at all the different volume numbers because that tells me what strike price is popular. Sometimes I go with the crowd, sometimes I don't. Okay? You can also sell a put. Selling a put is like buying a call. I don't recommend it right now. That's getting into the weeds and it's making it complicated. Okay, it's making it a little complicated. I'll talk about selling puts in another video. Right now we're going to keep it really simple for Gio and Tendi and anybody else that's just brand new and they just want to throw a little bit of money at it and see what happens. I think tomorrow is a golden opportunity actually to buy some calls on AMC. If you buy for calls that are going to expire next, not this Friday coming up, but the following Friday or even the Friday after that, they're going to be cheaper than all the other calls in the option chain. And you can buy, whatever you want. You can buy 45 strike price, 50. If you think AMC is going to go to $100 tomorrow or Tuesday, you can buy hundreds. You can buy an 80 strike price. The further out you go, the cheaper it's going to be because there's less of a chance of that happening. So let's say in your broker account, you open up the options chain and it allows you to buy 100 strike price on AMC tomorrow. Well, those are going to be really cheap, especially if you buy the ones that are going to expire not this Friday, but the following Friday, or even this Friday, they're going to be really cheap. But you don't want to buy the ones this Friday. If you want to do this kind of thing, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a Liberace impersonator. And I do love Jimi Hendrix, and I kind of look like him, especially around the eyes. Anyway, if you want to buy cheap, it's called out of the money. That means you're buying far away calls. You want to buy AMC 100 calls that expire in 2 weeks. They're going to be cheapity cheap, cheap, cheap. Now, they might still be a couple dollars because AMC is not a cheap company. It's a $40 company. But, if you want to let's say they're $2 to buy those calls that expire in a couple of weeks. You want to buy 100. You want to buy for the 100 strike price, And you look it up and it says $2. Buy one. Spend $200 if you want. This is not financial advice, but if you want to roll the dice, you buy one for $200. And if AMC goes up really big tomorrow, guess what, babies? You're still going to make money. AMC does not have to go to $100. So let's say AMC pops hard and it goes up 20% tomorrow in the day market. You're still going to make money on that 100 strike price. Okay? You're just not going to be in the money. So let's say AMC goes from $40 to $48 tomorrow, or $45, even if it just goes up to $45, you're still going to make some green on those $100 calls. And you can still sell it and make a little cash. You're not going to make that much if you only got one call, but you'll make a couple of hundred. You'll make something. You will be in the green, okay? And and because you bought calls that are only 2 weeks away, the volatility of that AMC movement, because it moved up like 20-30%, the volatility is what makes options valuable. So the higher the volatility, let's say AMC goes up 50% tomorrow, well, that cheap $100 strike price that you bought, that's going to go up hundreds of percent. Hundreds. That's what options do. Options are like crypto. They go up hundreds of percent. When I scored that big Tilray hit, that $1 million hit, I was up thousands and thousands of percent in a day. Oh my God, it was like sheep. It was incredible. I just wanted to pee all over myself. So, you could buy a faraway option, or let's say you buy $45 strike price that expire next Friday. They're going to be more expensive. But if AMC goes up to $47, you're in the money. That means you can exercise that call and turn them into shares. That's the powerful thing about options. You have the option to turn that call into a share. Okay, so if you bought one call at $47, if you bought one call at $45 and AMC goes up to $47, you have one call that's worth $45. Well, it's going to be worth a lot of money. And then you can hit the exercise button and it'll ask you, do you want to turn this into 100 shares? Because one call equals 100 shares. And then you can exercise that, turn that into 100 shares, and you just bought 100 shares of AMC on a pretty good discount. You still got to pay cash for them, but retroactively you're paying for it at $45. You're not paying for it at $47. So let's say AMC goes up to $60 tomorrow, and you bought $45 calls, and let's say you bought 5 of them, because they're a little expensive. You bought 5 AMC calls that are going to expire next Friday for $45, and AMC goes up to $60 tomorrow. Holy shizzle! You're going to be hundreds and hundreds of percent up, maybe even 1,000, maybe 2,000. I mean, it's going to be a big hit. You're going to be up big. And then you can hit the exercise button, and you're only going to pay the cash that you need to own those 5 calls. So you hit the exercise button, and those 5 calls turn into 500 shares of AMC that you paid much cheaper for, instead of spending $60 on AMC calls. Instead of spending $60 Instead of buying 500 calls at that $60 that AMC is currently at, you're buying 500 shares worth at $45 because you have options. That's why options are very powerful tool. Explore them lightly, explore them carefully. Be careful, babies. Tomorrow is a very good opportunity to buy options, ironically, since Gio's asking. Gio and Tendi want to know. And anybody else that is interested, I cannot believe I'm doing a 20-minute video on options. But options are complicated, and I hope this video helped you. There's a lot of options videos on YouTube, but they get convoluted. They're too long. They're like an hour. They're 3 hours long, and they're using all the option language. I'm going to try to teach you options without all the lingo. I'm going to give it to you as a transvestite, okay? So listen, everybody. Listen, babies. I hope you're going to have a gorgeous Sunday. That concludes lesson 1 of options. If you have any more questions, hit me up. Have a beautiful day, people. Toodles!